The media has been pretty split on The Little Mermaid. The critic scores for the films are poor, yet outlets are doing their very best to defend it, even if they said in a review they didn't like the product itself. And now, instead of simply allowing users to voice their disapproval of the movie, sites like IMDB have changed their rating systems for the film due to suspicious activity. I have a few different things that I want to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. So starting off with this Variety article, it says The Little Mermaid user ratings weighed by IMDb after unusual influx of negative scores. A pretty light headline. It says IMDb has made changes to its rating system for the live-action remake of The Little Mermaid after the new release became the latest target for review bombing, a practice in which a production is flooded with negative reviews by users who wield multiple accounts or employ bots to create new ones. Of course, this is the narrative that the media has been running with, that ists have simply, put their attack bots onto this movie and they have lowered the scores so immensely. I've got to be honest, I'm sure that there are people here that are trolling, that are simply leaving negative reviews because of the movie's pre-release coverage, some of the things the actress said, the changes that they're making to the movie, people who are just upset with the product that they actually released, but most of the reviews are real. I mean, I'm sure that most of the people who are leaving these reviews have said, hey, listen, I actually went to watch the movie and I simply didn't like it. Instead of accepting the fact that there are people out there who are going to inevitably dislike this movie after they have purchased a ticket and they have seen it, they just want to lump all of the negative scores together and just say, well, it's flooded with negative reviews by, these trolls and using their bots. It says since its release, The Little Mermaid has garnered 41,000 user ratings on IMDb, while the film has earned a positive 7.0 weighted average score. More than 39% of the ratings are 1 star, the lowest possible option. And IMDb has now placed a notice on the film's ratings page, writing that the site's rating mechanism has detected unusual voting activity on this title. To preserve the reliability of our rating system, an alternate weighing calculation has been applied, and this weighing calculation actually just means that they have locked the score, because right now it is sitting at a 7.0 out of 10 with 42,000 ratings, and it has not moved in days, which is the problem. It is not moving at all. This weighed system is just locking it. A major problem with this is the fact that, of course, they don't really explain how the new systems work. We have absolutely no idea what makes it different. And of course, when a score is sitting for days upon days and thousands of ratings are being added, it looks extremely suspicious. And on Rotten Tomatoes, the verified audience score also has not gone up or down by even a percent. It has been at a consistent 95, even though it's been at a 95 since there were 1,000 verified ratings, and now there's over 5,000. It is just so freaking suspicious. There is no point to have a site like this if they'll just bump up the scores or lock them down when something happens that they don't like. There are people who are saying, hey, listen, I simply didn't like this movie, and they don't care. This is why people, again, do not trust these sites. It's why I don't trust these sites. It also says, while IMDb's FAQ section doesn't elaborate on how the company calculates a weighted score, it states that not all votes have the same impact or weight on the final rating. Of course, meaning if you give it a 1 out of 10, they don't care. That score doesn't count. Now, if you give them maybe a 6 or a 7, it will count because they feel like that's what the movie at its lowest deserves. But they're basically just silencing thousands of people saying your score doesn't actually matter. I mean, come on. Seriously, even the critics didn't like this movie. The all critic is at a 68, which is, okay. It's definitely not the worst, but the top critic is sitting at a measly 48%. Even the shills said there were massive issues with this film, and the all audience with over 25,000 ratings at this point is sitting at a 57%. So it's not even the worst that it could be. But of course, people, do believe that they are not actually adding a lot of the 1 stars to this rating, and it's not genuine. I mean, if you go here and you go to all audience, there is definitely a trend that you can see. There are some half stars and 1 stars being put on, but the majority of them are, 5 stars and 4 stars. Now, there are people who will definitely not see a movie in theaters if it is rated poorly, and this has led to people believing that these sites are locking the scores down because the film is not doing good at the box office right now. I did talk about this in a previous video, but analysts are predicting that it will end up losing 50 to even $100 million. And people do believe, and it's easy to believe it, that, Disney has gone to them and said, listen, we need the reviews to look positive, which is why, it's locked at a 7.0 and the verified is at a 95 freaking percent. If you're debating on whether you should take your children to see this movie, are you going to take them to see a movie that has, a 30% or a 95%? If it's a 30%, you might go, well, we're going to save our money and see something else. And Disney obviously really needs the cash right now. I personally never had plans to go to the theaters to see this movie. For months, I've been talking about how disappointed I am with this film. And it doesn't seem like the final product was all that surprising. It didn't shock you and go, wow, I was completely wrong about this movie. The Scuttlebutt song has gone viral for how absolutely cringe it is. Some of the acting clips that we have seen have not been great. Of course, they changed songs and Ariel's complete backstory and the ending of this movie. I mean, it is just a pile of problems with this film, and that is probably why people are rating it so poorly, because it just isn't that great of a product. Of course, the media isn't going to say this, though. They're going to, call us ists for criticizing it and saying that, it was just review bombed and these sites are trying to protect the actors. But really, they're just trying to protect the companies. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.